And Bears, what is happening? It's Monday, July 18th, 2022. Thank you for being here. Housing bubbles are bursting worldwide. Now, not in every country, but it's interesting how many different countries we're seeing weakness now in home prices. And if you look at the interest rates are going up in just about every country that we're seeing home prices come down in, right? So for people that haven't really paid attention, that haven't connected the dots, this should make you realize how much of a controlled market this is. The digital money guys that can go out there, they can buy mortgage-backed securities, they can change rates, they decide which direction prices are going to go. And we're going to talk about that today. So home prices worldwide falling. We're going to talk about the countries here. The U.S. housing bubble just starting to crack. A little bit of a price dip from month to month, nothing year over year yet. When we say year over year, we're talking about comparing this year's price to last year's price for the same exact month a year ago. We're still up a lot year over year. Month over month we are down. Let's talk about some of these numbers here. And we'll get into some other countries here later in this report, but first of all, let's start right here at home, the US of A. Median home price is up 12% year over year. Now this is Redfin data. If you look at different reports, you'll see different numbers. For example, the Case-Shiller, the main index, looks at just 20 cities. Redfin covers a much broader area, so it's a little bit more accurate in my opinion, but it's also just Redfin listings, right? So nothing is 100% accurate, but this is pretty close. 12% year over year, the price is right around $393,000 now. That's all homes, and that's down 0.7%, so down less than 1% from a month ago. So during the 4-week period ending in June 19th, so right month over month, down a little bit. Not much of a drop at all, especially when you see how fast home prices have went up over the past few years, in some places doubling and even tripling in certain locations from the lows that we saw at the 2010, 11, 12, which were kind of the lows after the first housing bubble went bust. Absolute mania, hysteria in the housing market, blowing away the previous housing bubble, and it's insane how high it's went and how slow it's actually coming down. People expected a crash, a plunge. Numerous people predicting housing price crashes for several years now. It just hasn't happened because of the way that the money is created to prop up these markets. Do you understand? It's digital money. That means they could come in, the digital money guys come in and buy endless amounts of mortgage-backed securities. So what's happening now? Rising rates combined with consumers getting tapped out, combined with the balance sheet being reduced. That means less mortgage-backed securities being purchased. And that's the USA. Again, we're going to talk about other countries here in a minute. New home prices came down a little bit more. They're up 14% year over year, but down 2.8% from the all-time high that was set back in May. So we're seeing new home prices come down a little bit more rapidly than we are just existing homes or overall market when you look at it as a snapshot. But when you look at the monthly mortgage payment with the higher rates now, the monthly mortgage payment is up 44% from a year ago. So if you just look at that metric there, we have a long ways to go on this price correction because 44% higher payment should come through in the sales prices. Now we're not going to see this for a few months. Remember, the prices that we're looking at today are homes that went under contract back in March and April and some in May. So what's happening right now, we're going to see a few months down the road. So I say September, October, November, we're going to see some more noticeable price declines in the U.S. Okay, so that's the U.S. Now, the housing bubble in Canada has really burst. Let's take a look at some numbers here. From February of this year up until June, just that few months, $150,000 price drop. That's 18% just from February to June of this year. The housing bubble was much bigger. It's busting much faster. It's deflating much quicker here than in the United States. Canada's also being more aggressive on their rate hikes. They recently had a full percentage point increase in the fund's rate. Right? So bigger bubble, more aggressive rate hikes equals bigger and faster price declines. Right? No mystery to that. Will we see something similar here in the U.S.? Well, we're talking about another 0.75% rate hike, so that'll add a little bit more pain to the housing market as far as affordability goes. But imagine being a Canadian and buying in February at the peak, and here we are just a few months later, and you're $150,000 less equity, less value than you purchased at. So goodbye home equity line of credit. In this case, that is some digital wealth being eliminated very, very quickly. Now, some other countries, again, worldwide, it's no secret. A lot of times these rate decisions are done globally at the top, and several central banks across the world will do similar actions, including the balance sheet and the interest rate decisions. We also have New Zealand. Prices in New Zealand are down 8% as of June, as of last month, compared to the peak, which was late 2021 in New Zealand. So another country, housing bubble, deflating, maybe not bursting, maybe not crashing, but definitely deflating. Also, Sweden, prices down a bit there, down 1.6% from the previous month. That's the biggest monthly decline since the start of the health crisis there over in Sweden. So a little bit more on U.S. housing here before we move on to some channel information here. 43% of homes that went under contract had an accepted offer within the first 2 weeks of being on the market. That's down from 47% the year prior. So you see, not a huge difference. 43% versus 47% last year. So more homes last year had a offer in the first week versus this year, but only a difference of 4%. 43 versus 47%, right? Not a crash, not anything extraordinary yet. If rates stay where they're at, and if the digital money guys keep reducing the balance sheet and stop taking these assets away from the mortgage lenders, then we're going to see more corrections as we continue to the end of the year. That's the way it is. Alright, so let me know what you think about this home price information. Housing bubbles bursting globally. Not really too much of a crash except for Canada. That was pretty major, down 18% up in Canada. Now, quick note, I want to thank everybody for being here, and I apologize about the bad audio in the previous one. I've got new equipment. I'm trying to figure out how to use it here, and I'm not joking. Here's a camera. I'm still trying to figure out all the functions. It's a $600 or $700 camera, close to $700 after tax. Sony ZVR, or ZV1, I'm sorry. Still figuring out the functions. I had to get a new SD card. My old SD card that I have wouldn't even work with it, since it's a newer item. So figuring out things to make things better for you. I've got a new webcam. I'm going to be integrating that. A new mic for when I shoot, when I'm out and about. So improvements are coming. Thanks everybody for sticking with me here. I know most of you love the information, and thanks for being here. I'm glad you're here. Please let me know, global housing bubble bursting, and will it accelerate from here? It's likely going to accelerate, especially when we see down the road closings, homes that are going under contract right now, and with the final prices down the road. It's going to get interesting, folks. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, help this channel out. Come back for more updates. Stay well. Peace.